Hey guys, Blessing here. Happy New Year 2022. So I know that by now it's no longer news that Dion Osagie misses his wife and is still very much in love with her. Now he put up this post just a couple of days ago with the caption, December 31st, 2017 with Pastor Winifred Asabor. That was before I created Win Women International when love was sweet before the fame. Women, be humble to your husband and cover his nakedness. It is the way of God. Now, he put up that caption alongside his picture with his estranged wife, and on the right hand side, he has the picture of Pastor Funke Adejumo, who is the mentor and pastor of Winifred Asabor. So sit tight and let us all discuss and analyze this further. Now, it started again this week with Dion Osagie after Pastor Funke Adejumo started to trend online again because of this video she put up admonishing women to cover the failures of their husbands. Take a listen.
Say this to those of you that are married. Cover your husband's nakedness. There is no perfect husband anywhere. Stop celebrating your husband's failures. You are now an awakened woman. Now, is it because people are not telling you their stories? Do you know what people have gone through and are going through? But you talk about your husband everywhere in the neighborhood. Everybody knows your story. It's not right.
So Pastor Funke Adejumo received lots of backlash about the statement that she made, especially from feminists who are of the opinion that Pastor Funke is always preaching against women and what they do wrong and hardly ever saying anything against what men do or what men don't do. But the point of the matter is that number one, you cannot even judge someone based on a 30-second clip. You would have to watch the entire context in which she made the statement that she made. And honestly, I don't really see anything wrong with her statement. I mean, it's a good thing for her to really tell women that you don't have to go about spreading the flaws of your husband because everyone is going through something. But in the case of Dion Osagie, I think he kind of like agrees with Pastor Funke, but for him, it's more with the idea of, okay, now you're preaching that women should cover for their husbands, but my wife left me because of my flaws. And that's one thing I think I would like us to all discuss. It is true that most men or most husbands have flaws. There is no perfect man. But for someone or for a pastor to say that you shouldn't go around spreading and exposing all of your husband's flaws doesn't necessarily mean that men should have that free pass to choke their wives with their flaws. I mean, when your flaws or imperfections as a man become a permanent problem and issue in your marriage, and it starts to steal the joy of your wife, when your indiscretions and self-indulgence come first before the happiness and peace of mind of your wife, then there is a problem. We're not talking about, okay, my husband is weak in this area, so I'm just going to tell the whole world that he is not man enough or he is not meeting up to the duties of a husband. That's not what we are talking about here. We are talking about issues that affect matrimony and then not wanting to come to terms with your shortcomings, not wanting to compromise, not willing to make a change or at least try to make a change to say, you know what, I know and I acknowledge that I'm weak in this area, but I'm willing to make a change. I'm willing to make you happy. Help me through this process. How can I be a better man for you? That is what we're talking about here. But when you are that man who doesn't want to accept that your imperfections affect your wife and you feel like your flaws are your birthright, your constitutional right to misbehave, the moment that woman decides to leave, then it's nobody's fault but yours. And these people, these young people dissolving their marriage is like really painful. I've said it before in one of my previous videos. Like, I just find this couple, when they were still together, I find them so beautiful. Like a young couple just looking forward to what the future holds for them. And for us to hear that they are no longer an item just kind of like made some people start to lose trust in that thing called love. And of course, we know that every now and then, Dion Osagie would post something about Winifred. He would put up an update. He would put up a picture of her. He would mention her. He would talk about the fact that he started her foundation, Win Women Fellowship, and he would give himself all of these accolades and everything. And I just kind of like get the impression that Dion really doesn't get it. Like, Dion feels so entitled to his needs as a man. He feels like it's every man's place to be in control and do exactly how they please because they are the man. But that is where the problem is. You being in control doesn't mean that you have to be emotionally abusive. And that doesn't even mean that you have been entirely awful to your wife. I don't think anyone can deny the fact that Dion Osagie really loved this woman. But I just feel like the only impediment for Dion now is himself, like really having that moment of self-reflection to really take a look at, okay, what did I do wrong? I mean, he did a lot of good things for her. He gave her the platform. He helped her. He tried to push her forward to excel as a wife and as a woman. But there is more to being a husband than all of that. Being that social media person that pushes your wife forward, there is more to it. How about her emotional needs? How about all those nights that she cried saying that, oh, I do not like this? And instead of her to get that empathy, what she gets is, look, if you're not okay, then go. There are 10 or 20 other women who are going to jump at the opportunity to have me. There are so many other women that would be glad to have a man like me in their life. You know, making your wife feel like you are the best thing after sliced bread. Making her feel like she cannot even do it without you. Making her feel like you are some mini god, and also carrying that air of arrogance and indifference in your marriage. It kind of like waters down on the love that you probably have for her. So these are really the issues. And of course, sometimes Dion would post something, and he would post something maybe relating to another woman or wanting to give off the impression that, oh, that they rush me. Do you understand? Like, oh, all these women are all over me. They're in my inbox telling me that they love me and all of that. I don't know why he's really doing that. Maybe to get Winifred jealous, or maybe to prove a point that, look, I am still like highly wanted in the market. And even a couple of months ago, he did this video in which he was saying something like he was in search of a wife or something. Let us take a listen to that.
As of today, 24 women are in love with me. 24 women around the world are in love with me, and I'm in love with 3. I'm confused. I need your help. Please cut this part and make it go viral. I mean, any sensible person should be in love with Dion Osagie. Loving, kind, hardworking, exposed, respectful. Most importantly, fear God. So any person with a sensible mind should be in love with Dion Osagie. If you are a mother, you should be happy that your Dion Osagie is associated with your daughter. If you are a young girl, then you should be happy to have a man like me, not necessarily me. So even me, if I be gay, I will date myself. So the thing that confusing, man, that they rush me. Love you loud. That they rush me, I beg. Me, I take them easy. If you want to be with Dion Osagie has his own guidelines of what he expects of a woman. It's nothing wrong with that. I have learned a hard lesson that for you to have a perfect relationship, a perfect marriage, the person you are in a relationship with must follow the way you want to live. Man is the head. The man has to lead at all given time. So if you are not allowing your man to lead, if you call yourself a woman, you are not really a woman, you are a whoa.
Alright, so even if it's clear in this video that Dion Osagie was more or less catching cruise, he even said that he wanted a part of the video to go viral, okay? But even with this video, it's very obvious what Dion Osagie's mindset is. For Dion Osagie, as a man, women should follow your guidelines, because according to him, you are the man, you are in the lead. You should be able to live and do what you want to do as the man. But nowhere does Dion Osagie ever mentions that you also have to follow the guidelines of your woman, or you also have to do things to please your women. It's just very clear that he's so full of himself. He thinks highly of himself. He has so much pride and arrogance as a man, a deep sense of ego, and a woman just has to say yes, yes, yes to whatever he does. And it's also very obvious that this is probably something Winifred couldn't deal with. And there is no doubt there might be a bunch of women out there who don't mind this lifestyle, who would be able to live with and cope with this kind of mentality from their man. But you'd have to go with a woman like that. You don't go for a woman like Winifred, who knows what it is to be treated with an equal amount of respect, who wants to be valued and honored as a woman. So if Dion Osagie would just realize the fact that, look, this woman is another kind of woman than the average woman that I think would fall over me no matter what I dish out to her. She's just going to be there and she's just going to be happy that she has a man like me in her life. So to be honest, this even doesn't really have to be a problem. Dion should just go for the kind of woman that can accept him and accept all of his excesses, but that woman is not Winifred. So why can't he just move on exactly the same way Winifred has moved on? You know, in life, you cannot eat your cake and have it. Dion is not ready as a man to make sacrifices, to give up on things that he is doing as a single man. He wants to go into marriage and carry along all the luggage and baggage of his own personal character and all the things that he can freely do as a single man. He wants to take all of that into marriage, and it's not every woman that would want to accept it. They feel like if you're married, you have to, give up on certain things. And Dion Osagie is not the person that is willing to give up on anything. He just wants to continue to live the same life and have the same level of enjoyment, either as a single man or as a married man. And it looks like Winifred kind of like realized that this wasn't going anywhere. The compatibility was lacking and missing in their union. So she walked away. Even if Dion Osagie in his mind thinks, oh, I'm all good looking and every woman wants me, he still wants Winifred. So why can't you just move on and go for other women, all those hundreds of women? You can have 1,000 women in your life, Dion Osagie. You can actually have as many women as you want, but you're not going to have a woman like Winifred, and that is the problem, wanting to eat your cake and still have it at the same time. So now, you guys, rumor has it that Winifred has fully moved on with another guy that you see here in this picture, and it goes by the name Adejumo. So I did a little bit of research and I found that this guy is also based in Canada, just like Winifred, and he's into this study abroad business. It also looks like he's a Christian because from some of his posts, you'd see him mention God, by the grace of God and all of that. So look, if it's true that he's really an item with Winifred and they are both happy, they are both Christians, they both understand each other, they both have the same values and beliefs, then it's a good thing. Dion, on the other hand, who is not willing to have that mindset and live that kind of life that Winifred would desire, let him just go on and, you understand, look for someone who is going to accept him and accept all of his imperfections, instead of always mentioning this Winifred of a woman, always putting up her pictures, always mentioning her. And like I said, this woman has actually never publicly said or mentioned Dion Osagie ever since they separated. She has just kind of like been focusing on her project, on her ministry, and I think on herself. She has been paying a deaf ear, more or less, and Dion is just really looking for her attention, but he's not getting it, and I'm suspecting that he has lost her. And that's also another thing. People don't really appreciate what they have until they lose it. Then they start to chase after that thing, and they are not even humble enough to say, look, I still want you, I still need you around me. They are still having that pride and just wanting people to praise them for whatever they have done that maybe has even been appropriate to do as a man or as a husband. And like I said, it's a pity that it's happening that way, and there are just lessons to be learned on Dion's side if he wants to learn, because there are some people who just don't see anything wrong with who they are. They just feel like every other person should just accept them and keep their mouth shut. And of course, I know that Winifred also has lots and lots of lessons to learn from everything that she went through and all of that. And all the other people watching this video also and watching and following this couple, they also should learn a lot from their story. So I'm going to continue to follow it, and if there is any update, any development, I am going to be sure to bring it to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, or even if you disagree, go ahead and just drop me a comment. But if you really agreed with everything or most of the things that I said, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. Also share it on your socials. If you get to watch it on Facebook, do not hesitate to like and follow my Facebook page, Blessing Njoh. If you're not subscribed on this YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button, and also do not forget to turn on the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video or each time I go live, because I sometimes go live here on this YouTube channel. I thank you all for watching, and I will catch you on my next one.